Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the SciShow, the number one ranked YouTube channel for free to play and cheap to play players. If that's you, I appreciate you. And we're about to find out whether Small Giant appreciates you as well. We have the new Instant Power Summon Portal. We can see the ads for it. So, for those that don't know, the Instant Power Portal, I love the big cheap sticker stuck all over it. We'll get to that in a minute. It's basically a portal which allows you to pull heroes which are already leveled to varying degrees. So we can see the power grade rates. We have a 20% chance to get ascended once, 20% chance for the hero to be ascended twice, 20% chance to be fully ascended, 20% chance to be limit broken once, 15% chance to be limit broken twice, and a 5% chance to be limit broken twice and fully emblemed. Now, it does note that the emblems are done with golden emblems, so if you do recycle, you don't get those back. So I just had to throw that little bit in there. So it looks fantastic. It's designed as a way to get newer players, players that may have been playing for a while but don't spend, just to help them get up to speed a little bit. We all know what a grind it is to be leveling heroes. You know, you need your 3 stars, your 4 stars. It's hard enough to get 5 stars, but then you've got to try to level them. There's so many feeders, there's so much ham that's required, all that sort of thing. So, is it good? Is it really going to help those players get up to speed and then help them sort of progress through the game? Simple answer is yes, it will. The longer answer is it will, but in the long term, are those heroes ever going to stay useful? So we can see these heroes flicking along in the background. We'll click on some of them. And look, there's some decent heroes here, don't get me wrong. However, costumes aren't involved. So there's a few things. To start with, I think it's a really good idea. Don't get me wrong. It's a good positive step in the right direction. We can see there's some great, like Guardian Hippo is still a fantastic hero. And the chance of pulling him fully leveled, even ascended, like fully emblemed as well and limit broken, would just be huge for a free-to-play, cheap-to-play player, mid to level, sort of low to mid-level sort of player, just to grab a hero that can really help out. Now, I will touch on a few other things. The fact that it says cheap kind of bugs me a little bit. We can see here it's 2,600 for a 10 pull. In the seasonal summon, these heroes have 1,100 power. It's only 200 gems cheaper for the 10 pull. Yes, it's cheaper. I don't think it's cheap. Let's jump into the gems, see how much it would cost me to buy those gems. So to get 2,400, I need to spend at least $30. This is Australian. So we're just going to say it's about $40. Now, that's still not overly cheap for a 10 pull. So to start with, I wish there was a linked quest, and I think that linked quest should be giving at least 3 free pulls. Now, I'm just going to double check because I'm sure there's no quest linked with it. Just wanted to double check that. There's not. So instantly you're telling someone, if the idea is for this to help those cheap to play or especially free to play players, what you want to do is you want to keep them in the game. You don't want them to play it for a few months and think the grind is too much, I'm going to quit. So you want them to stay in the game. That's fine. And the longer they stay in the game, the more chance there is of spending money. And look, Empires and Puzzles, Small Giant, whoever's looking after everything, they will have all these stats in the background as to how long the average player plays before they spend money, how much money they spend, what they spend the money on. All those stats are there, so I'm going blind here. I'm just going with, the logical thought of what would happen. So we want you to stay in the game, and we're helping you out by putting a portal in, but we are making you pay. So the first thing you need to do, well, in a way, you don't have to buy gems. You may have saved those gems up. So in that case, yep, it's a better way to spend your gems. But we'll just look at it as in you may not have those gems. We're wanting you to stay in the game. We want to sort of, show you that it's a good game and we're going to help you get up to speed. We want to keep you in the game. But now you have to pay. We're not going to give you any free pulls at all from a quest or anything like that. We're going to make you pay. So that side of it I don't like. Because especially your free-to-play players, you're generally not going to have those gems saved up if you didn't know this portal was coming out. Now you know it's coming out, you may keep it. The other thing is the heroes. We'll just scroll through these powers. 889, 798, 770, 860, 760, 840, 850. So nothing over 900 that I'm seeing so far. Some of these heroes have 4 costumes out. I just think, why not have some newer heroes as well? If you're targeting players that aren't spending, then, well, there we go, 901. Is it really going to matter if we put, even if it's just, a handful of heroes that have that higher power, are a little bit newer, a little more relevant, just to really get that person interested and think, okay, you know what, that's actually worth spending my money on. So hitting on the downsides first, I want to end on the positives to leave it on a good note. I wish, so to summarize, I am at work. I can't do pretty graphics and stuff. I'm in the office doing, extremely important work, saving the world, as I do every day. No, I don't really. I probably ruin the world. So summary, I wish there was a quest to give it free pulls, and that needs to be at least 3. I know they just can't give everything away, but again, we're talking about players here who may not be spending, may not even be sort of, looking to stay in the game long term because the grind is getting tough. So there's other ideas I've got that don't tie into this. I feel we should be giving away core teams to newer players, so they've actually got a team they can compete in a lot of different things with, but that's a whole different story. So, summary. Free tokens should be at least 3, if not up to 5. 10 would be fantastic, but 3 to 5 I think is a great range to give people a chance to get something good. Even if you're only getting a 4-star, at least you may get something that's fully leveled. I am also going to do some pulls as well, just to sort of show you the value that you're getting out of this portal. So the other thing I'd like is newer heroes. We need to make sure, there's some decent heroes in it, don't get me wrong. Someone like a water pipe is still very relevant and going to help people in a lot of different places, such as the treasure quest that everyone's struggling with. Not everyone, but. So, Lady of the Lake, great. I wish they would throw in some costumes. It could be an extra percentage chance. It could just be that, there's a 3% chance it will also come with all the costumes, whatever it may be. These are people that aren't spending heaps of money elsewhere in general. The whales are always going to spend. The whales could be spending, if someone doesn't have Guardian Hippo, they may spend just to try and get Guardian Hippo. That's fine. They're a whole different category. The people we're aiming at trying to keep in the game, to try to grow the game and make it more enjoyable, just throw in a bloody costume here and there. It's not... to me, again, I don't have all the stats, but I wouldn't think that would be a big drain on their bottom line, and I think it would be a great step in helping people get up to speed and, to stay in the game. So, on to the positives. We all know how much ham, how many feeders, etc. I've got quite a few feeders here in my training camps. Not everyone has this. So what happens is you get a 3-star or 4-star. You've got to sit there feeding your feeders away one by one. Very, very slow process. And, it takes hundreds of feeders to get a 4-star up to speed. You then need emblems. You need aethers. You need alpha aethers. There's so many things required. And if you bought all that, you're probably looking at $500 to get a 4-star hero all the way leveled up, if you bought everything you needed because you didn't already have it. Possibly even more. Anyway, So the fantastic part of this is it will save you a shit ton of resources. I'll pop a message up on the screen from someone in a line group. Shout out to Clay Thor Gaming, who loves this portal, thinks it's fantastic. So I'm going to throw those positive comments up just to sort of give an indication as to how much time it may save you. I would love for someone to sort of go through and test all the specifics and say, you know, it saves you X amount of ham, X amount of feeders, X amount of time, X amount of emblems. It would be a humongous job to do that. But in general, you know, doing maybe 100 pulls, and I know 100 pulls is a lot. Like I said, it's $40 for 10 pulls, basically. You can get gems cheaper, don't get me wrong. I know there's definitely deals out there. But it's down to if you spend maybe, even just say a couple of $100, and again, I'm talking Australian here, it's probably going to save you anywhere between 6 months and 2 years of grinding, getting heroes and leveling them. Now, you're still not guaranteed of great hero. You know, you can still get heroes that you may not find useful at all. So, but again, just imagine saving yourself anywhere between, say, 6 months and 2 years of grinding and leveling, and basically just having a team that you can throw straight into certain battles. You're not going to be top tier. That's, you know, you're going to be sort of lower level of the mid game, but it just gets you up to speed so much quicker. Anyway, we're going to do some summons and see what we get. See if we get anything useful. We've got a Carver who's ascended twice, so instantly he's fully leveled. I can start using him in 3-star tournaments. Don't have to level him. Yes, I'd love to put some emblems on him. Limit Break would be great. But straight up, we've got a hero that if I'm just going to quickly jump in and show. No, I don't want to do that. So if we jump into a 3-star, it's not leveled. We'll level up. So I've got like, you know, 40 odd feeders here. Just going to feed everything we can. Now, keep in mind, there's some 3-stars here. So for me, it looks reasonably easy to get this hero up to speed. I've got a lot of different trainers here that you wouldn't normally be using on 3-stars. But even with all that, I'm then still going to need to improve its special skill. So you can see there I'm done now. I've got all my feeders done. Now, he actually does power up, so that's another good thing you can use them for. Please note, I didn't actually get the costume. It's showing me the costume bonus because I already had the costumes, so you're not getting any costumes in the portal. Again, for 3 and 4 stars, give us the costumes. Throw some costumes in, help people out. But looking at the positives, so I've just now saved all those feeders, all that ham, and again, I was using really high feeders there. If that was 1 and 2 stars, it would have been taking a lot longer. But yeah, so we can see the power there. He's already instantly leveled up. You still need to finish that last level, but that's how it's working. So I'm just going to jump in now and do a 10 pull, see if we can get something really good. So limit broken twice, bang, straight up, nice. Fully ascended. Fully ascended. Ascended once. Limit broken once. So a nice little mix here of what we're getting in Dawa. Everyone loves a Dawa. Fully ascended. Ascended twice. Limit broken twice. Ascended twice. So we can see I've got some great heroes there in regards to Caedmon, Melindor, both very useful generally with the costumes. But you can also see the downside is that whilst I've got a couple of 3-stars here that I can use straight up in tournaments, so that's a great help for newer players. If you're getting basically a tournament team there, I've got in one pool with something that I could now throw into tournaments. Again, it's not going to be the best tournament team there is, but if there's 3-star tournaments, I could actually pretty much use the pools I did then and make a team without too much effort of putting some emblems or you know, leveling up a little bit. So Same with the 4 stars. I've got a couple of good 4 stars there that I could throw straight into a tournament. Yes, under-leveled, but that's the power of the portal. The downside is, are those heroes really going to help me that much? So that was $40 worth. As a new player, someone who may not have spent much money, been grinding through the game a little bit, I dropped $40. Yes, I've got a few heroes there that can help in tournaments, but is that going to change my overall opinion and sort of thoughts about how hard the game is to grind and get to where you need to go? So they're the questions you need to answer. If you are the type of person that is going to spend a little bit in the game, this is a fantastic way of helping you get up to speed, grabbing some heroes that are going to help you out in a lot of different ways. But for the people who are likely to leave the game because they're very, very low spenders and it's just taking too long to get up, I just don't think the portal offers enough. So I hope that helps you with your decision as to whether you're going to pull here or not. I would say if you are a very low to mid, low to low mid level player, the chances are, because you're probably only looking for legends, you've probably got a lot of the 4 stars and 3 stars, or you've got enough to get by. But yeah, definitely the low level early starters, people who don't spend much or are looking to maybe spend a little bit, this would be a great portal just to help you get up to speed. So there's nothing worse than pulling a good hero and not having all the resources to power it up. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what to expect and whether it's worth your time. I do wish I could have made a sort of more in-depth video on this and sort of, went into how many resources you may save and that type of thing. But I do have some work to do. I am working at the same time. I'm definitely a great multitasker. So, yeah, if my boss is listening, thanks, mate. Yeah, if you are doing any pulls, I hope you get the exact hero you're looking for. I hope they're fully ascended and limit broken, etc. Thanks for watching. Give your kitty a scratch for me.